Did your arm come off?
No, my actual
Not your
arm.
actual arm, but your...
It wasn't.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
That would have been unfortunate.
Well, hi.
You all right there? How was your... So, was it like how many people... When you party, how many people go to your parties?
Oh, I go hard. I think there were 16 people there, actually, at dinner.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
I have a lot of friends.
Spirit.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Is that a comment about Jesus?
Some margs. Were your margaritas were they a hit?
They were a hit. Yes. So I did go. I used Evil's recipe. I'm sorry. It seemed professional. No offense. So I did go to the liquor store. I bought all the very expensive liquor that Evil told me to buy. Brought it home. And, I had said in our messages back and forth, that I would just double or triple the recipe, and Evil said, yeah, it'd be a lot cooler if you made it for 20. So I was like, all right. So I just multiplied. I went to Albertsons and I bought like 8 limes, which was ludicrous because it ended up that only one of my friends that came over actually wanted a margarita. Everybody else was rum and Coke or beers. And so now I have like 3,000 limes.
Oh, that wouldn't have been enough for me.
Sitting in my fridge for no other reason.
Oh.
The thing about limes is they can be deceptive. Like a big lime might get a couple of drops of juice out, and then another lime, tiny one, you squeeze it and it's like a ton comes out. They're like all over the place.
Yeah, accurate. These were really good limes though, so they're actually I only needed like a quarter of a lime for one margarita.
My gosh.
That's the worst.
So I could make like 32 margaritas.
Did you bring them
With the
for
right
us
math?
tonight?
I wish.
Nice, thank you.
The recipe
Yes, I did.
worked out.
Yeah, no, it worked out good. It not as sweet as I would have expected, but that makes sense because it was coming from you. But good, very good. My friend that wanted margaritas also can't taste, so that was helpful in my compiling of the margarita, I guess.
I was actually thinking last night after we got done talking, I woke up at like 3 a.m. or something weird, and I was like, we should have given her a sweet and sour mix recipe that's like a simple syrup with lime but
Yeah.
Actually, no, I don't believe in it.
So can you still smell the same?
No, not at all.
So can you smell liquor?
I can't smell anything.
For
No,
real?
I can smell. Yeah.
Wow.
Is the short answer.
There is so much fucking salt on that
I
rim.
like the salt.
Oh my god.
I like the salt. I did put there is a little bit too much on here. I do admit that.
Evil, have you always been? Because it surprised me that you have like 8 ingredients in your margarita.
Nah.
I thought
Sorry.
no, I don't care. Like, because I know that you probably worked on it for like a fucking whole summer to try to.
Kind of my own recipe.
Yeah.
Cobbling together a few others.
Yeah.
It just surprised me. I was like, man, he churches this up like big time.
Well, I've got to make up for the turbo margarita days. Do you remember that?
Oh hell! I think I made them like 2 years ago.
So
I can't drink it anymore. It gives me heartburn like
2
instantly.
sips, and
Yeah.
you can feel it.
It's all.
Rachel
So
liked it.
that's what I should have given her. I
We should have given her
turbo
the
margarita
turbo
recipe.
marg mix.
What?
Turbo margarita was a pure invention. I think I was out of college, but I still had the college drinking
Was
mentality.
it a circumstance
And-
invention? Like it's all you had there?
No, I wanted a margarita-ish recipe.
this?
Basically tequila with flavoring, where I just bought bottles of stuff and I didn't have to measure. I just poured them all together.
Ah.
And so it's a fifth of Tarantula Azul. I can't remember the size. A bottle of Rose's Lime, and a certain size bottle of lemon lime Gatorade, and you just pour it all together. Thought you were gonna say there's always money in the banana stand.
Crap.
Hey, Sven.
How's it going?
All right.
He's
yeah?
here.
Are you sure?
Yeah. How are you guys doing?
Very good.
Very good. When was the last time I saw you?
2 months ago, maybe. I don't know. It's been for
Long
friggin'
fucking
ever.
time, man.
This is my first night I'm not like
buddy.
working right now. This is crazy.
Good.
Does it feel good?
Yeah, I gotta work at 7 in the morning, but
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
take it. I'll take it right now.
That's what she
I
said.
don't care about that. I'll be asleep.
Yeah, like any sane person on a Sunday doesn't produce 3 live shows on a Sunday at a church.
Oh my gosh, 3.
What does that entail? Oh fuck! I didn't even think about that. So, are you in charge of the pastors, Mike, and then the?
Oh yeah, and I've got
The-
the first show is a 5-camera shoot, so
What?
I run 5 cameras and then 16 channels of audio that I mix because it's a 8-person
Is-
band.
Is that Cathedral of the Rockies?
Yeah, Cathedral Rockies.
Yeah, that's my grandma's church.
Yeah.
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 She saw my back tattoo once and she smacked me.
Jesus.
We're pissing off a lot of old people right now.
Yeah.
You have a bad religion tramp stamp.
No, on like up.
I know.
So, but yeah. Well, I guess first thing we should do. Can we, Rachel?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
prepared?
let's do this.
Who else were
Did
we
you-
going to talk with?
No. Did you know, how girls think that birthdays are this huge month long.
Oh yeah, birth month.
My
That's so
birthday
many
is.
people. I don't even think I know 14 people anymore.
I do, but I don't like most of them.
That's actually, yeah. Hey,
fair.
Rachel,
Yes,
stop
sir.
burping for just a couple seconds.
Shut the fuck
Happy
up.
birthday,
Happy birthday.
Thank
Schlanja,
you.
I feel guilty shooting Don Julio, but whatever.
while I'm shooting Jaeger. What did you shoot?
Malibu. Malibu.
I thought that's what that was.
Is that from Spanglish?
It is from Spanglish. How did you know that?
Holy
Nobody
shit.
ever gets that joke.
Wow.
The only 2 people that ever
We're
saw
the
it.
2 people that liked that movie.
That saw that movie.
I'll admit it wasn't terrible.
Sven, what the hell are we doing here? What's music, Sven?
That's I think what we're here to figure out. What is
Oh.
music?
Oh, we're figuring it
We're
out.
figuring it out. I don't know.
Ooh.
Evil, does your drink have the initials IWC?
Yeah. Whoa. Sherlock over here. What? Well done.
So I've been looking, because I'm not a huge old-fashioned guy, but I've been looking at variations,
Yeah.
like just over the last 2 weeks. So it's kind of just a by chance
Oh
sort
my
of thing.
god. I thought I was being super clever. But hey, that's cool. Hey, well done. Yeah. Improved whiskey cocktail. The whole story is at one point a cocktail just meant what we refer to as an old fashioned. I want a cocktail. It was just whiskey, something to make it sweet, and something to season it because whiskey was terrible back then. So like bitters, sugar, whiskey. I don't know if the advent of like ice storage had anything to do with this. May have been roughly the same time, but there were like new formulas. Like the Sazerac was developed in New Orleans, and then in the New England area, the improved whiskey cocktail. They were like fancier recipes, so they usually have absinthe and dash of absinthe, dash of Peychaud's, a couple dashes of Angostura, some maraschino liqueur, and I use rye whiskey. And then, of course, you have the old diehards who are like, I don't want that fancy stuff. Give me a cocktail the old-fashioned way. And that's where old-fashioned came
Ah.
Wait, so what's the difference between that and a Sazerac?
from. Not much. Improved whiskey cocktail usually has like maraschino or some other flavoring.
Okay.
That's right. And there's different recipes. It's an old-fashioned with other stuff.
Cool.
Usually it's a little bit of absinthe and like a...
Is that Peeber? Show me the other side of it.
It's a local Boise artist that made this can.
Oh, right on.
you posted that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Ashley Dreyfus. I don't know her.
From Boise.
Local Boise artist. By
Sweet.
PBR to support not her, but
Do you want to feel like you're supporting local artists? Buy PBR.
what are we doing?
Sven, this is your wet
And
dream. There's no
I asked the
outline. There's
question.
no
I
script.
know.
There's nothing.
This is fantastic. We're just drinking. I want it's so nerve-wracking.
Do you do music, Sven? Are you in a band or anything like that?
I'm not in a band. Well, hopefully we still make some music and I'm in that band.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm on like the other end of it right now a lot as the engineer or mixer. I don't get to play as much as I'm listening to other people and giving input on how they should play than trying to make it sound good for whoever is going to end up listening to it.
Do you like that more or less?
It's way more fun to play.
I've taken 3 shots in
That's a lot of shots.
30 minutes, so I'll start
3?
in about 15 minutes. I'll be
Dude.
rambling plenty.
Okay, hold on.
What did you shoot, by the way, Sven?
That was Jameson.
Ooh,
You
nice.
shoot something that feels like something that should be shot.
Yeah, it totally does.
And then I'm going to chase it with a low-calorie 3Z Does It Hazy IPA. 98 calories. No guilt.
Hey,
Killed.
And making 98 calories, and they could dare call it an IPA. I don't know how. But, playing music's way more fun, because to me, music is at the core a verb. It's interactive, it's an action, it's something that is participatory. Even if you're not playing an instrument or singing it, if you're just a bystander or an audience member, you're still experiencing it and interacting with the sound, right? It's organized sound shooting out of speakers or a voice or an instrument into your ears. And it's affecting how you feel. If the source of that music is able to see you, sometimes you're affecting the music. So I think it's more fun the closer I get to the interaction. There's, I think, different levels of interaction. So like being right in the center, playing music is really exciting. But the next best thing is observing other people make music.
that's kind of cool because that's such a blend of science and passion.
Yeah.
Which is true.
Yeah.
Part of why music is.
I'm one of the more art passion side of that. I know there's people that do what I do that are way more into the science and engineering part of it. Like I never ever would dare call myself an audio engineer because I don't have an engineering degree, but I have ears. I know the science, just I rely more on my ears than meters, and it drives some people nuts. Some people I work with, that's not their style sometimes, but
How young were you when you started playing with other people? Not just, like, I know you picked up instruments when you were really young, but band stuff, or like we used to do jamming on guitars and stupid shit.
I guess like the first like act quartet, like a string quartet, was probably the first time, and I was like 8 years old, and there was 2 junior high kids and a high school kid this was in Emmett, so you're not going to find a lot of string. And at the time that the population was probably like 3,000 people, you're not going to find like huge pool of string players. So it was a mixed age group. And then like the school stuff that I think, every elementary school has some sort of opportunity. So like 6th grade in the Boise School District. But like jamming and playing in a band, I think 7th grade, like garage style, like, outside of like structured school, whatever. I was only in one other band, jamming with somebody. We tried to start a band, and then Capitol High, what we did, you, me, and Brent, that was the next ever band I was ever in.
When did you?
The band that doesn't quit.
I'm not sure if anybody knows this, but Evil plays. When did you start playing?
I didn't start playing guitar until college, really.
Gotta impress the chicks.
I always wanted to.
To impress the chicks.
That's something I'm actually really always curious, like, when people start playing, especially when they're not like.
It was to get chicks.
That's one reason, but like, how'd you decide guitar, and like what made you want to actually like play it?
Because it gets chicks. I think I'm getting drunk, you
And
guys.
then I'm gonna follow up with Rachel. Does that work? Because
does.
you're a
That's right.
chick.
Are
Has
you
that
fucking
ever
kidding me,
just like
Sven?
that was the thing that you're like, yes.
Oh yeah.
So John Mayer really has it figured out.
Have you seen the chicks
Yeah,
he
for
dates,
sure.
Sven?
Totally. Chicks.
He's got it figured out.
I mean,
Remember when he dumped Jennifer Aniston because she wasn't quite hot enough for him? Sorry, Evil. We left turned
Yeah.
there a little bit.
That was totally your path, though, right?
Did you just start for the hell of it?
Me?
Yeah. Why'd you start in college?
I just always wanted to play. I am like drawn to guitar music. I like.
Say it. Say his name. You almost made it to
I'll get
10
there.
o'clock.
drink.
I've always been drawn to very like triumphant music. The times that I've actually performed live music, not like high school choir type, but actual like live rock music, it's the closest thing to like playing sports or performing in front of a live crowd, like in like a sporting event. Is like there's something about it that is just like I can't describe it. It's
Wait, have you played shows?
yeah.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah,
I didn't know
just
that.
a handful, not much.
Hell yeah.
I sang. I didn't play guitar live, but yeah,
Holy shit.
Hell yeah.
What was this band?
it was
Pray tell.
a group of friends that I think you know some of them, like Tim and Conlon and
Really?
Mike. Now another guy that went to. They were all from Payette. Yeah, we were called the 300. This is before the movie 300. But it was based off of the same thing. It was based off of the comic book, which I was a comic book nerd. We were called the 300, and we played some shows just like locally.
That's
Boise.
fucking wild.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. We played for a couple years. We recorded at Audio Lab. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. When are you going to send some of those recordings our
Oh,
way?
it's garbage, man.
That's
it's
what
terrible.
makes it awesome. That's the funnest.
We like recorded way before we should.
Well, yeah, everybody that age does. Yeah.
Except maybe with like Foo Fighters. That was probably the only exception to that.
We had a recording from when I was a junior.
The tape deck?
And you were a sophomore in high school. And
The tape in your mom's house.
God, I want to find that so bad. Rachel,
Oh.
what was your band's name?
My band's name? I played the recorder in Boise, in
I
the
was
Boise
there.
School District.
That's a lot of
You
work.
pick up the recorder in like third
That's like in
grade.
fifth grade
and
or
make
fourth
you
grade?
play
Yeah.
it. And so I did, and then I moved schools, and in fourth grade I started at a new school. And in that part of the district, they started teaching you recorder in fourth grade. And so I already knew everything, and so I was like the smartest person in the class for once. Like I knew all of the finger placement and everything.
Wow.
You joined a musical podcast, though.
I did join a musical podcast.
Indeterminate.
We'll find out. We'll see.
Ask again later.
Yeah. Check with me next year.
It was
Yeah.
more like a drinking podcast.
It's a drinking podcast, the musical background.
Yeah.
Well, David, I know a little bit about like some of your musical background, at least your taste and like where you get it from. Like
Dude,
your dad.
you are like
Right.
80% of my musical background. Yeah. You've been there
I know
for
a little bit about.
No, but prior to that, because when I met you, you already were playing, you were already singing, you're already like
Yeah.
that. I think is what fascinates me about people is what sparks the interest.
You know what sparked it for me? This album, Facelift. I was a teeny little kid. I don't remember it vividly, but I remember hearing Lane Staley, and I wanted to be a rock star the cool rock star that was so cool that he didn't want to be a rock star.
Yeah.
It was hard to find interviews, and when they were interviews, it was just a big fucking joke. That was when I decided, okay, I want to be a famous rock and roll singer. But I was an only child, nerdy, skinny little kid. I just like to hide out in my room and listen to music. You know, I grew up in Boise, Idaho. So no matter, it's the worst childhood in Boise, Idaho is still going to be better than 95% of most childhoods,
Accurate.
I would think. Unless extremely bad things in the house gone on,
Yeah.
which wasn't for me. I had my problems that I think most kids have. I'm trying to get around saying the most cheesy fucking things, like about how I would listen to songs and there would be things in it that I would just relate to. And where in retrospect, as you're older, you're like, oh, you weren't going through half the shit that these people were. But still, when you're a kid, you hear those things, and I kind of miss it. It's so rare now that a song hits me
Yeah.
the way that a
Yeah.
song did back then.
Oh man, that's so true.
Isn't it?
And when it happens, it's like such a special, precious moment.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, something is actually good. Something new is good
Yeah.
on that level where it like resonates.
It's chasing the dragon.
Do you feel it's like topical though? It's kind of written and marketed towards, I don't know, younger. I'm not trying to say that we're all old, but
Oh, we
we're
totally
kinda
are,
all
But
old.
we're
We
old.
totally
yeah,
are.
That's true.
Rachel just death glared you.
That's
so
why
hard.
I'm not trying to say that. You guys say it. You say it.
Rachel,
Yes.
1 year till you're 40.
Fuck off. I'm the same age as you.
Yeah, but I'm a dude.
Oh, that's really fucking funny.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a horrible curse,
Thanks.
I have to say.
You can suck my dick.
Anyway, sorry, Sven.
I don't even know what I was saying.
I think you're right, though. And I think that's honestly one of the many reasons I'm really glad that Rachel became part of the podcast. And one of the extremely unexpected things that I got out of starting this with you, Sven, is I had no idea how deep this podcast would take me into pop relevant music.
Yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
never heard of Blackpink. That's a bad example.
That's a
I would've
great
been
example.
Such a happier person if I had never. But like Jacob Collier, I would have never heard of that sort of stuff if it wasn't for this. And I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing to.
Dude, you hunted down the curator of the Harry Parch Conservatorium Museum, whatever. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Dr. Charles Corey.
Dr. Charles Corey.
He was the shit.
Like, my
He was
high school
awesome.
band teacher hadn't even done that. The guy that was so proud to expose a bunch of kids to the weird ass Harry Parch, weird ass yes.
Sven, I don't know if you figured this out or not yet, but I'm tenacious.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's for sure.
with a capital T.
Rachel,
Yes.
how you doing?
I'm drunk. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
I saw you going back every
does-
5. Not
That was-
going back.
Delicious.
Going back.
Oh man.
Now you're about to take another drink. Music, you and your dad. Is that a big deal?
Yeah, and I think that I've talked about this before. There was always music playing in my house. My dad really, was a big influence on that when I was younger. My mom as well. He had millions of CDs. He had tons of tapes that he had recorded from
Like
concerts.
bootlegs? Or-
Yeah. So,
cool.
I mean, we were always listening to that when I was a kid.
See, David, live recordings are awesome.
I'm gonna.
Yeah. Live recordings
I feel
are
like
awesome.
every single episode now I'm gonna have to say I don't fucking hate live recordings. I don't like
Yeah,
using
you
them
do.
in rankings.
This is like the
That's fair.
debate on like every album ranking anything, even Facebook groups. I see people ranting about the whole do live albums count thing. But
I have live albums.
yeah, I think they have.
I love them.
Some of my favorite albums are live albums.
Like what?
Every
Like
Dave
Red Rocks.
Matthews album I've ever liked is a live album over their studio album.
Hey, Evil, what's your favorite Dave Matthews album? Is it the one where he goes, "Ah, baby"? Do you guys know that Sven and I almost died on the way back from seeing Dave Matthews Band in the Gorge?
We didn't almost die.
I
Well,
vaguely remember
kinda.
the story.
We're in his old beat-up truck.
With, oh my god, the back was full of expensive ass band equipment.
Yeah, we took our band equipment to the Gorge, like to play,
Oh yeah, that's smart.
which we didn't do.
Yeah, Dave already had an opener.
Fucking asshole.
Turns out.
No, we break down at the top of a freeway in the
hill.
middle of fucking nowhere.
It was like
yeah, like a
desert
big hill
in
on the top of
Washington,
a freeway.
eastern Washington.
And this guy pulls up with us, and he's like, "Well, there's a town right down there, so let's just push you down. You'll just
This
glide
is a
into
red
this
flag right
town."
there. I'm gonna put my
and
bumper against your bumper.
Yeah,
I'm
Sounds
just
stop
gonna
at the
nudge
gas
you
station.
over the edge of this.
So we're stupid fucking kids. We don't know. So we're going down like 50 miles an hour. So we're like 50 miles an hour going off this exit, and us stupid
Jesus.
kids don't realize that if the truck's off, steering wheel locks, brakes lock.
There's no power steering.
We're
no
just in a
brake,
fucking-
Oh my
yeah.
God.
dead hunk of metal, like, and
Flying at 55 miles an hour down a
Yeah.
hill. So like we're coming down to a T intersection. In front of us, it's either like, so to the left there's a parking lot. To the right there's like a barbed wire fence and some shit. And then ahead of us there's like a store or something. It's like the main street of this town of 500 people. It's a parking lot. We'll slow down or something. The only thing in the parking lot is this stupid lamppost with a concrete base at the bottom of it. And I mean,
massive
like, I can't
concrete
say that I
base.
like steered us that way. Like, the road turned and we didn't, and that threw us into the parking lot, kind of. But yeah, there's this one thing in the middle of the whole freaking empty parking lot, and I just remember seeing like a tire, not like hubcap, but like the wheel. The whole wheel fly off to the right, like out of the corner of my eye, just in time for me to turn my head and look like dead ahead of us at this pole and cement thing.
Neither of our seatbelts are on. Of
course.
So
Of
there are
course
these
not.
two huge round things where our windshield, where our heads
Oh,
hit the
shit.
windshield. Like,
26 stitches.
I woke up to a cop asking if we'd been drinking.
This explains so much.
I know. And we're also both retarded.
Okay, here's the awesome part though. Like tying this back in, like with the music thing, every piece of musical equipment in the bed of that truck was perfectly preserved.
It was.
Oh my god.
Guitars,
was.
we had tube amplifiers. Like
Yeah.
the tubes were still intact.
Wow.
Like,
Dang.
everything was fine.
forgot
the
about that.
front end of the truck, the engine was sitting where like the shifter was. Like
Oh my
it was caved in.
That's crazy.
That's what going to concerts means to me. I feel like this happened a lot when I was a teenager, and then a lot like now that I'm a parent. There's music that comes on that will grab you and make you think of like really specific moments or memories in your life. Okay, it's not just me.
No.
Like
it's
Yeah,
got
of
to be
course.
everybody.
there's got to be everybody.
it has to be.
So a few years ago, you guys know Lucas Graham?
No.
It's like a Swedish band. Anyway, they sang that 7 Years song. Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Anyone
yeah.
listening
Yeah.
along, if you don't know it, 7 Years,
Google
Lucas
it.
Graham. It's a whole song about like his story kind of as a musician or a writer, but then reflecting on different moments in his life. Each verse is like another check-in when he's 7 years old, when he's 20 years old, like as he gets older. I remember that song coming out right after my dad passed. And there's a verse in there where he talks about, I don't know, there's moments in that song that I feel like grab me and take me along that same journey. And it's almost like the writer almost can, they're like talking to you or about
yeah.
you, you know? Anyway.
No,
just-
there is a song. I can't say what it is because spoilers and whatnot. But there is a song on our best of episode that we're going to talk about next week that is very much like that for
Yeah.
me. Why did I not fucking write that 5 years ago? You know what I mean? Every single line.
Have you
is-
ever heard a song that you just swear to God that, like, I can't remember exactly when, but like 10, 12, something years ago, I played that with this group. Like,
Like
that
I wrote
was a
that
hook
song.
in a song that, yes.
Yeah, every Beatles song. Yeah, I wrote them all.
You did
Of
not.
course. No, there's
Mine's the opposite. I always write a song, and like a week later, I come back and I play it again. I go, "Oh, I rewrote the House of the Rising Sun."
There's a whole era of music. I can listen to anything from 1990 to 1995, and it takes me immediately right back because that's when music became very meaningful to me personally, or it was the era or the type of music. I don't know what it is. There are songs, albums, particularly like music videos. You start tying in multiple senses where you get the auditory and the visual, and it's like I'm right back in that moment. It's crazy. It's so crazy.
Do you have a favorite music video of all time?
Ooh.
Don't raise your hand. Just interrupt. You're supposed to be drunk, Rachel. Tell us
so
to shut up
polite.
and
I
talk.
think
shut up. What?
You need a Red Bull.
Money for Nothing. I think that was like
Dire Straits.
one of the first
Kids for free.
videos that was ever
You know the
played on
F word is
MTV,
in that
and I
song?
remember watching it when I was a little
Amazing
kid, and my
video.
dad just loved Dire Straits anyway. It was just awesome. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Also, Aha.
You know what my favorite music video was? My first favorite music video was? I think I was in 3rd grade. Crazy. Aerosmith.
During
Is
the
it really?
Crying Amaze Super Crazy time
don't remember
period of
that.
Aerosmith.
Yeah, that's you beat me to it.
Every fucking song sounded exactly the same, and he was really trying to get his daughter laid.
Oh my God, was he ever? I remember that video and being so disturbed
Yeah.
after I found out
Yeah.
that was
I don't remember
his
that
daughter,
part.
and Alicia Silverstone, but like she was like 17 in that, and just
I'm gonna have a hard time picking a favorite. There are ones that stick out. Sober, Tool, Sober.
Oh, the claymation.
That was always like the awesome one to like have come on at 2 a.m. when you're.
the
Yes.
Epic by Faith No More with the dead fish at the end flopping around while he's playing piano. That was a really good time for music
Oh
videos.
man, it was.
do you remember Evil? Do you remember what your first concert that you went to was?
My very first concert with, I think my whole family went. It was ZZ Top.
Yeah.
And
nice.
Night Ranger was the opener.
Awesome.
My second concert with just my brother was Skid Row opening and Bon Jovi.
Oh,
Mr.
nice.
my-
John Boney himself.
Yes.
Did you like Bon Jovi? You don't seem like a feathered hair lover.
Bon Jovi was
Feathered
cool
hair.
at the time. Skid Row, I think, was really kind of the draw.
Yeah.
That band was enormous when I
Yeah.
was in not quite middle school, like 5th grade maybe. Slippery When Wet was an enormous album.
That's what she said?
Hey. You know, one of my favorite things about episodes that Rachel's in, she says the dirtiest shit. And then at some point in the episode, she'll say, David, my dad listens to this.
That's true. I do say that.
Every single fucking episode.
I do. I really do.
What's your first concert, Rachel?
My first concert was Michael Bolton, Time, Love, and Tenderness Tour,
this is gold.
1992.
My God.
The reason that I went, I mean, I wanted to go. It was awesome. But my dad had bought tickets for my mom to go. And then he's like, I'm not going. And so she drugged me along, which is fine. Because, again, like, Michael
There's
Bolton's
no
super
excuse for
handsome.
that. I don't care if you were 4. That's not.
He's so attractive. Why would I not go? It was awesome.
It was
So
awesome.
handsome.
Handsome?
Yes.
Michael Bolton?
Wow.
What the fuck is happening? Are you.
We're talking about the guy from Office Space, right?
Different. Not related.
He's got no hair here, and then,
It was-
like,
That's
Luscious.
right.
it's not the baldness. It's the covering up for the baldness by having
Whatever.
6 feet of hair behind the baldness.
The skullet.
How can we be lovers if we can't be friends, Rachel? Sven, what's your first concert of all
my
time
God.
ever?
I was a late bloomer when it came to concerts. I think it was Metallica at the Pavilion, but it
Oh,
was
that's dope.
the Reload tour.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so it was.
Is that when Corrosion of Conformity opened?
That's 97. I know that
believe-
because
yeah.
of this
Or at
podcast.
the
Yeah.
end of Metallica's show, like the stage broke down
Everything
and like the
fell
bare
apart
bulb like
and the-
dropped down. Yeah, I remember that.
Yep, that one. Which is, it was like they played Reload because the label
Right.
wanted them to, and then they just did the Black Album.
Yeah.
Some of us liked Reload.
Yeah, that was kind of what I think everyone expected. It was
Yeah.
like, let's get through these first few songs. Okay, now, yes.
I'm probably gonna edit this out because I think I'm done this year with the fucking emails and the comments. I think I'm done this year. I don't really want to do it anymore.
What does music mean to you, David? Hate mail.
I gotta work at 7. What's wrong with me?
He didn't do as good as the lead singer, but he did pretty good.
Yeah, just like, I guess don't be the bass player or the saxophone player. I just knew how to pick them. I can play didgeridoo. I can circular breathe. Yeah, you don't know what you're missing out on. Yeah.
How's the Jack in the Box, Rachel?
I had tiny tacos. They're amazing.
I feel like I need to go get refills now because you're talking about this.
You know, I never answered your question. What made me want to play guitar?
Yeah.
He-Man.
He-Man.
Gosh.
By the power of Grayskull.
Okay, He-Man? What?
All right, I have deep psychological issues with the hero's journey storytelling. And I think it's
Okay.
a big piece of it is I was the youngest in our family by a stretch. And so I was like kind of a latchkey kid. I spent a lot of time at home watching cartoons. I liked He-Man. I liked Optimus Prime. I liked Lion-O. I liked the hero figure, you know, and that for some reason translates to the epic guitar music from the 80s. And I think that's what made me, and also like
Okay.
just being out performing and sort of the rock bands were on top of the world. There was like some weird connection with that. That's why I like very like triumphant, get out there and like belt out the song kind of music, you know. I have a love-hate relationship with guitar because I literally tried to teach myself how to play in high school by looking up tabs of Nuno Betancourt on Extreme Second album and be like, this is my starting point.
Oh, whoops.
Like, this is real hard, man.
Yeah.
My hand hurts. Guitar is hard.
Jeez.
I'll just keep doing this until I end. I'm like, I'm not getting any better, man. I don't know. Maybe this isn't for me. Oh. So there's a lot of stop, start. And to this day, I still struggle with the guitar. It is... I will one day be a great guitar player, much like Bill and Ted. I might have to time travel.
Do you still play?
When I learned like how to tune my guitar to drop D and just play power chords, that was like, oh, I can actually kind of chunk my way through some stuff and play and sing at the same time. That was a game changer.
You know, the greatest thing that... How do I say this without sounding like a douchebag?
Why try? Lean into it.
So I feel fairly luckily inventive with guitar chords and riffs and stuff like that when I'm just dinking around and playing and writing. So just like you, when I picked up the guitar and I decided to learn, I did it on my own. And I got a guitar tab book from Super Unknown by Soundgarden, which is 6 different guitar tunings in the whole album. I just thought that was just what you did. That was normal.
What you do. Yeah.
So I learned on like 6 different guitar tunings and just, okay, if I want to do that, I can go to drop D and I can... I attribute that to a lot of the weird fucking shit that I do to this day.
I actually took guitar like as a class in college, junior or senior year. And the gal taught it. She was like, she wrote her own book that you had to buy for the class. And she was like... Right. And she was like a very good jazz guitar player.
Hate those.
This doesn't feel right. Like every guitar player that I love is self-taught. And so I'm like, fuck all of this. I'm just, I'll get to this someday. I have a question for each and every one of you. What drew you to the music that you listen to? And of course, there's no like one word answer. That's always going to be multifactorial for anyone who's into music. But was it He-Man? I think Sven missed my He-Man comment.
I think for me, it was a completely masochistic. Even as a little kid, this is going to be too dark. I think for the podcast.
This is awesome.
But even as a kid, I kind of liked the whole idea of the riding the train until it went off the rails. I liked the whole Lane Staley thing of I'm just gonna fucking do it as hard as I can until I die at 30.
Are you familiar with Bill Hicks, the comedian?
Yeah.
He does
absolutely.
a bit on music that is exactly that. He's like, I want my musicians to like be broken. I want them to suffer for their art. And I'm paraphrasing. It's like the romanticism of the tragic.
The romanticism of pain. Yeah.
As like an artist, there's that mystique around it too. However, there is another way. David Lynch, the director.
Love David Lynch.
You've seen his movies. They're like extremely dark, weird, crazy, wildly creative. You would think that he might be a tortured soul. No. He like is a super happy dude. He practices like transcendental meditation. He's very spiritual. He's like, yeah, my life's really good. I just, I've learned how to channel the darkness, but I'm pretty happy.
Trent Reznor's like that too.
Yeah, that's another great example.
There's a lot of different answers for me because it depends. I guess music has different applications in my life. Sometimes music is something that I need to move to. So I'm going to pick something that has a natural movement to it. Times in the day where that added little extra encouragement to move. There's certain cultures where it's like there's no separation between music and movement. It's just part of life. Like a lot of African cultures, it's just life. They don't have moments where they stop and listen to music or make music. It's
integrated.
Constantly you're singing and then you're moving to that singing. And then there's other times where it's like I want to be contemplative and I want to just have a whiskey and sit back and close my eyes and let my brain go on a journey.
That's my life. I will go on a break at work and I'll put my earbuds in and okay, I need to fucking chill, so I put on a podcast or a certain band or something like that. I've started to learn going through this year of this podcast that I can't just purely study for the next
Yes.
thing that's coming up.
Oh my
I need like
God.
a palate cleanser. I'll make like a mix or something stupid that while I'm studying for something, I go back and I listen to that.
And sometimes it's work. There's like 4 songs this week that I've listened to like 300 times because I'm working on the mix and it has to be done by tomorrow morning.
Have you struggled this year, Rachel, having to listen to music?
I mean, as far as having to listen to music, yeah, I mean, it's definitely opened me up to new kinds of music, to not new, well, new, yes, but stuff that I wouldn't normally listen to, wouldn't normally pick up. I normally just pick up I'm a happy person. I pick up happy pop music, and you guys have definitely thrown some curveballs into what I normally listen to. So
This
yeah,
makes me kind of want to ask, like, do you guys more often use music to change your mood or put you in a different space? Or is it more often you pick music that matches your mood? And so, like, your mood...
I think the latter more, but I will purposefully do the former when I'm like conscious of it. I struggled sometimes having to listen to stuff to like prepare for a recording when I wasn't in the space for that music. It was like I'm having some dissonance here with how I'm feeling and what I'm listening to. I usually listen to music that matches what I'm doing. Like if I'm working out, I'm listening almost exclusively to Unearth. In the mornings, we usually put on we have like a jazz station, or we have like there's a Spotify cocktail station that's fantastic. That's like perfect morning music. But there's also times where I'm like, oh, I'm in a funk. I need something to lift me up. Let me find something happy and like something I would not normally listen to. I'm going to listen to the Dolly Rots. Like, give me some like pop punk that's going to lift me up. That's, normally something I wouldn't listen to. Both apply. But for the most part, I usually choose music unconsciously to match whatever mood I'm in at that point.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to be more academic about things.
It's funny, I was just thinking about that today because I've been finalizing my picks for the finale, the best of episode. And I started to think how much my moods and my situation this year have dictated the type of music. I bet in a specific year, this album probably would have spoken to me a lot more than an album now did. I thought about how there are these albums in the What Did We Miss This Year that I'm going to say, nah, this didn't do it for me. Where if I would have heard that album in a different time in my life, maybe I would have fucking loved that album. It's weird how temperamental music is because of where we are.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I'm just an extremist. If I'm in a bad mood, I want to get as far down there as I can possibly fucking get. In fact, one of the only times I can remember trying to even myself out was when we studied Joy Division, and I caught myself getting so fucking depressed, like really, really depressed. I did. I got home one day and I put on Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder.
Nice.
I have to do something. Like I can't. This is gonna end badly.
Well, there's also when you're feeling that way, feeling like really dark, there's something to leaning into that as hard as you can. Like the only way out is through.
Yeah.
And sometimes listening to depressing music when you're depressed, it like gets you through the tunnel.
It totally does.
And it doesn't work every time. It's situational, but there've been times where, and the other way too, is I'll listen to stuff that makes me feel good to the point where I'm like, I don't want to feel this way anymore. I want to just go back to normal. And you just like bring it down a notch, You can only listen to so much Van Halen in a setting before you gotta
Might as
bring
well
it
jump.
down.
You didn't actually say the name until 11:03 your time.
Temperance. I'm learning temperance.
I'm so proud of you. Rachel, have you ever purposefully, verse, chorus, verse, after dark,
take a shot.
have you ever purposefully listened to an album or songs while under the influence of anything?
No, fun fact, I've actually never done drugs before.
That's not. That's
But
like
booze.
a not fun fact. That's like
Yeah. Have you ever just said, man, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna get fucking drunk. I'm gonna listen to this fucking music.
This is like a 2-bottle of wine album.
No, I mean, not real. No. No is the short answer.
Okay. So, did you get fucking drunk and then be like, "Oh, I want to listen to this"?
No.
You are the yin to my yang.
I've wandered around in the middle of the Pennsylvania woods, high on acid, listening to drum circle hand drums.
Speaking of shrooms, and I didn't notice this. It happened that night. I swear it did. But then when I really noticed it is when I did way too many shrooms at Weska Tusky's house, who I think you know, Evil. And he turned on The Big Lebowski on his big, huge TV.
Oh my God. The dream sequences.
I looked it up, and it's a real thing, but I could see the audio. I could see them talk. I could see the sound waves. And I just thought I was high and being retarded. But then I looked it up the next day, and it's like, no, there are certain people.
You see sounds, hear colors.
Synesthesia.
Fucking yellow is loud.
It's the craziest goddamn thing ever.
Mm-hmm. That's legit a thing. I remember my brother telling me a story about one of his friends got so high on, I think, edibles. And he was in high school, in class, when the teacher would speak, like word balloons would pop up like a comic.
That's not real.
I watched Donnie Darko for the first time on shrooms.
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
Dude.
Damn.
That's
a good
intense.
one. Evil, this'll make you jealous looking back on as a kid. Sven and I in high school, Sven would come over and we'd get like a 6-pack of Henry Weinhard's and a pack of cigarettes and some weed.
We'd end up like doing these crazy jams,
In high
hotboxing your bedroom with like Marlboro lights.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And like you would write shit off the top of your head. I would just follow you on some weird. I remember following you on the bass. You'd play guitar and sing. I just follow you on these amazing little musical adventures. And we would start on one song, and 2 hours later we'd played like an entire set list of like probably only 3 songs, but like we jammed a lot.
Yeah.
That's what music means to me.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that.
perfection.
And I feel like every show I go to, every album I listen to, everything, it's
That's
all
really
just chasing
romantic of you
that
guys.
feeling. Whatever that feeling is of being a part of something that's happening, and it's audio and it's sensory and it's, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, shots are always the best idea.
No, I wasn't.
I know what she's talking about.
Even though we need your
We've
audio.
talked about drugs. We've talked about not drugs.
Do we talk about music at all?
Maybe.
Not that important.
Yeah.
I had this whole
Did you?
plan, too, with the Venn diagram and everything.
I missed out. I like a Venn
You know,
diagram.
Venn diagram can only have, at most, 3
It
circles.
can have a lot of
Of the
circles.
3 circles you've got, let's see if I can remember it because I'm also a
Meeting,
little
sorry.
tipsy. There's the
Okay.
pastime circle, there's the passion circle, and there's the profession circle. One or more of those is what music is to, or it's like deeply ingrained in it's a passion to them. And then
It's like everything.
That's really
there's
beautiful.
there's the like, I had a whole cool thing, but you know she ruined the whole
having-
podcast. So
Fucking
who cares?
Rachel.
No.
Sorry.
Most of the stuff that you can list off is like what humans do is to live a fulfilling life, because there's the creation component of it, there's the consumption component of it, there's a collaborative component of it. Who doesn't listen
Yeah.
to music? I don't know anybody who just doesn't listen to music, period. So it's at least a pastime for you.
Like I know I launched off into it saying, you know, music is for me is a verb and something that you do. It's participatory, but I mean, in reality of it, it's also much more than that. The action
Right.
of music gets captured and it becomes a product. Then we sit on podcasts like this debating, you know, okay, is that product a product of the industry or is it a product of the art? Because there's clearly 2 motives to making music. Either way, there's this industry that's going to take advantage of that, whether it's music made for the industry or music made for art that then they can still monetize. And then there's the kind of music that is never a product, that's never monetized, that's just, my kids sing everything. They have they learn things through music. So there's like that aspect of music.
My whole life I was always just a kid that really needed to not fit in, but I was raised by my mom, but I was also raised by grandparents, you know, older, more traditional people. And it was very much traditional. You're a quiet guy in the background that succeeds, and you know you do what you do, and that equates to me a lot to really, really caring what other people think of you, trying to blend in and this and that. And music was the one thing to me that I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care. I didn't care if I liked something that somebody else didn't like. And I did, I was all my whole life. I was somebody that just wanted to please people and impress people and stuff like that. But with music, I didn't give a shit. If I liked something and somebody else didn't like it, I didn't fucking care. I loved music for that. It's funny because of that, music became my own thing. And I think that's why I ended up sitting alone in my room for so long, just playing the guitar and playing the keyboard, which is crazy because then at the same time, it became my way to click with other people, with Sven to start playing, and with Evil, with just starting to... How many people that know each other through a friend start a chat that talk about something for a decade? Like, seriously, who does that? Music is it's a insane fucking language that I don't know what the fuck music is, man. It's a terrible question. It's a never-ending topic.
Right.
Yeah.
Art decorates space and music decorates time. It's silly, and like, I've actually thought about that saying quite a bit, and music is objectively just math.
Yeah.
It's an expression
Absolutely.
of mathematics. Collectively, it's an expression of culture. I think individually, it's an expression of our own emotion. Will we ever be able to answer the question completely? I don't know. Will we come up with some interesting conversation? We'll probably throw some booze in the mix.
You notice how this conversation got way better about half hour in when everybody was lit.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as what music means to me, I look at it kind of like a photo album. If I think of different music at different periods of my life, it all makes sense and it all applies to that period of time. And it's nice to be able to stop and look back on things that I used to listen to and think of those times when that was applicable to my life. I have a really good road trip mix. You know, it ranges from Operation Ivy, Rage Against the Machine, to Fiona Apple, to Debussy. Like, it has classical and country, and there are different times in my life where I needed different things out of music, and there's always something that I can find for each season.